Honorable speakers, dear students, ladies and gentlemen, the UAE University and the Internship and Professional Development Unit at the College of Business and Economics would like to welcome everyone and thank all of you for joining us at our event, the CBE Career Guidance Forum. As part of the unit ongoing internship and career development program for the college students and graduates and in line with the university vision, the event aims to build the bridges and eliminate the gaps to help our graduates to step in, enter, and succeed in the job market through short lectures presented by experienced speakers representing different public and private sector organizations. For a start, we would like to invite Dr. Rashid Al-Zahmi, Assistant Dean for Student Affairs at the College of Business and Economics, to deliver his speech.
Thank you, Ms. Marahab. I'd like to welcome everyone. Happy to see a number of participants attending this important event. What I'd like about today's event, the speakers here today, they were not only generous to dedicate their time to come and share their experience with our students and with our participants, but you'll be surprised that three out of our 4 speakers are UAE alumni. We are not only have Marahab, who just started the speech. She's a UAE student, and I remember Marahab, mashallah, has been very active from day one when she joined the university. And we see now today 3 of our distinguished speakers. They are UAE graduate. We have another distinguished speaker from the industry, Mr. Zhang Yu. He's from also China company that located in Abu Dhabi. We have the other 3 speakers. They have different background. One of them is an entrepreneur. One of them has actually started a small business here in UAE before she graduated. Another alumni also as well. He has his own self business that he had dreamed from day one when he joined the university. I had a small chat before we started today's session with Mr. Yusuf, and I told him, do you miss the university? He said, dearly. The best memories he had, it was during his academic year. All the speakers that you're gonna meet today, inshallah, they had a dream. They have goal to accomplish. Nothing comes easy. Challenges exist, but we're going to learn today, inshallah, how they basically were able to succeed and overcome these challenges. How were they able to achieve their dreams? We're going to learn also from people from the industry, the opportunities available for our students to join very well-known international companies, local companies, how I can get a better chance to be hired, to get at least internship, to explore what's available on the market. Each of you have a dream, have capabilities, skills, competencies. But the more you know, the more information you collect, the better decision you're going to make. Today, inshallah, you're going to hear from the industry what kind of skills they are looking for. What are the available existing opportunities for you available when you graduate? How about people who like you, going to graduate soon? How did they face the challenges in the market? How did they continue to equip themselves with the necessary skills and knowledge to be able not only to contribute to the UAE society, but also to build their knowledge and skills and succeed in their own business. Without further ado, and we're going to leave the floor, inshallah, to our next speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Rashid Al-Zahmi. And now we would like to invite Mr. John Qian, Sir Deputy Manager at China UAE Industrial Capacity Cooperation Demonstration Zone, to carry on with his topic about... there's a mic that's open. Please mute your mic. demonstration zone to carry on with his topic about internship and job opportunities at Industrial Capacity Cooperation Demonstration Zone.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for the introduction. Because I have some slides, so would you please allow me to share my screen? Okay, so thank you very much for giving this precious opportunity for us. And we are very thankful for the opportunity that Dr. Rashid gave us to promote our internship program today. We are also thankful for Dr. Kathy for her contribution on the cooperation between ICCDZ and the UAE. By the way, ICCDZ is the it's the short form of our company name. The full name of our company is China UAE Industrial Capacity Cooperation Demonstration Zone. So we are very pleased to introduce you our internship program, and our plan for today's introduction divides the presentation into two sections. So in the first section, we are going to give a briefing about the company, China UAE Industrial Capacity Cooperation Demonstration Zone, or simply put, ICCDZ, so that you will know who we are and what we do. And in the second section, we'll be going to focus on the introduction of our internship program, so that you will know what we are looking for, what we are particularly looking for in an intern, and what we can offer as a company, as a trainer. All right. Okay. So first of all, I will give you a brief introduction about the background of ICCDZ, from its history to current status, from its objective to its strength. So ICCDZ is the achievement of implementing the consensus of leaders of China and the UAE. It was firstly proposed back in 2015 during a high-end meeting of both governments, where His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, and Xi Jinping, President of China, reached important consensus on the spectrum of projects for promoting bilateral cooperation between the two nations. And ICCDZ is one of the most important cooperation projects initiated at that time. And after the project was initiated in 2015, a series of consecutive activities were carried out to ensure the timely pushing forward of ICCDZ. So firstly, the central government of China designated the project to Jiangsu province due to its strong economy and extensive experience of developing industry zones. In addition, the operator of ICCDZ, JOSIC, was also founded in 2017. And a year later, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed and President Xi witnessed the signing of another agreement regarding the financial support for ICCDZ. And in 2019, they both witnessed the signing of another memorandum of understanding on the tripartite cooperation of ICCDZ. So it can be obvious seen that the construction and the development of ICCDZ has been attached to great importance by both leaders, by both governments. So in the last slide, we mentioned a little bit that the operator of ICCDZ was funded by Jiangsu provincial government. Therefore, we would like to talk a little bit more about the Jiangsu province. And the left top map shows the location of Jiangsu, which is a coastal province and adjacent to Shanghai. Because of its excellent location and aggressive development through the reform opening period of China, Jiangsu now has become the most prosperous province in China, with the highest GDP per capita. The left bottom table compares some major indicators of the UAE and the Jiangsu province. And this slide continues to demonstrate the economic competence of Jiangsu province. As you can see from the left figure, Jiangsu's GDP of 2020 reached around 1,600 billion USD and ranked the second out of all 23 Chinese provinces. It also maintains an annual growth rate from 6 to 8%. And the backbone industries of the province are categorized into 13 clusters, including high-end manufacturing, chemical, engineering, biopharmaceutical, and so on, which are the ones that the UAE truly demands and are also trying to develop locally. Therefore, ICCDZ is trying to attract and empower those top-notch Chinese industries and introduce them to UAE, and it serves as the platform for those for the localization of those Chinese industries in Abu Dhabi. And after talking about the competence of Jiangsu province, we're now checking out what ICCDZ looks like in Abu Dhabi. And the map indicates the headquarters of ICCDZ, which is within the Khalifa Industry Zone, KIZAD, and 60 kilometers away from Abu Dhabi downtown, and 80 kilometers away from Dubai downtown, and 4 kilometers from Khalifa Port. So such a strategic location allows ICCDZ outstanding access to markets and important infrastructures. High-end manufacturing, fine chemical, new energy, and so on are the main target industries that ICCDZ is trying to attract and empower, because not only are they of tremendous advantage in China, but also are in line with UAE's long-term objective for economic development, like the Abu Dhabi Economic Vision 2030. So I will give you a couple of examples, and one of them is Roadbot, and the tires of vehicles, no matter automobile or aircraft, are almost all imported in UAE. So to fill the blank of the market and replace the import, we convinced one of the major tire manufacturers in China, Roadbot, to establish their first overseas manufacturing base in our zone. And another example is Rentai Chemical, and they account for 30% supply of water-based new material in Middle East region. And one of their largest suppliers is Saudi Basic Industries Corporation. So to build a factory within our zone will allow them close proximity to their upstream raw material suppliers, as well as their downstream market clients. And this slide also summarizes the current development status of the zone. So 11 companies have signed either land lease agreement or manufacturing unit lease agreement with us, which occupies 568,000 square meters. And we have another 60 projects that are during the negotiation phase. This is also what we are trying to do and what we have achieved. Other than the business development we have built, we have also built the world-class infrastructure to empower our clients so that they will be able to construct or set up their own facility and operate their business. As shown in these pictures above, we have built a road and a pipeline network with a total length of 8.5 kilometers. And phase 1 manufacturing units, which has already been rented by 4 clients. And we have also completed the construction of the ICCDZ headquarters building. And our office and workstations within the building are totally open to all our clients. We have also completed the workers' residential city with the capacity to accommodate around 3,000 workers and the management staff. So that was the first section, the background introduction of our company. And in the section 2, we'll give you a will give you the introduction of the internship program. So this is our objective of the internship program. We're not here recruiting free workers, but to select a qualified candidate to train. Through the internship, we aim at achieving 3 objectives. So the first objective is that we try to provide a dynamic experience for the intern, which means that the intern will be supervised to work on challenging projects in our fast-paced environment. And both tasks and the guidance will be given so that the intern will know what to do and how to achieve. And we also will provide opportunities for the interns to work with some of the most important local organizations, such as Abu Dhabi Customs, Abu Dhabi Ports, and Abu Dhabi Civil Defense. Also, we will provide the opportunities for the intern to work with some of the leading firms in China, such as China Zhongyuan Engineering, which is the giant in the nuclear engineering. And our second objective is to improve or polish some working skills for the intern. For example, the cross-cultural communication, the team play skills, industry research skills, and the negotiation skills. And our third objective is to allow the intern to have a global vision through the internship program. So we will try to pass on our working knowledge for the overseas expansion of the top-notch Chinese industries and enterprises. And we'll also, through the work and the supervision, the intern will also be equipped with the business insights of ICCDZ's partners, many of whom are the state-owned giants or regional leaders. So the detailed information about the internship position is as follows. So we are now open to the position of public relation intern, and we are planning to recruit 1 or 2 for each semester, and the work location will be the ICCDZ headquarters showed in previous slides. And this is also a demonstration of the job description. So first of all, the intern will assist the manager, the PR manager, in the content creation for companies' social media accounts, because we have pretty frequent updates for our LinkedIn or Twitter accounts. So this is one of the prioritized tasks for the intern. And another one is to support the industry and the market research work. And another task is to coordinate and attend meetings and events. Another one is to communicate and build rapport with key stakeholders, including Abu Dhabi municipality, Abu Dhabi ports, Abu Dhabi customs, etc. And our preferred qualifications can be summarized as follows. We're looking for the senior students of the College of Business and Economics at the UAEU. And we hope that the candidate, the intern, can have some good communication skills and who is also a fluent speaker of Arabic and English. And we hope that the intern can have the ability to use a Microsoft Office suite because we will have a lot of opportunities to draft reports and write emails and things like that. So have the ability to use Words, PowerPoint, Excel is a must. And the last part of my presentation is that I will promise you that the people that you will work with is the public relation and the corporate service team with years of professional experience and the entrepreneurial spirit. And thank you very much. And this is pretty much my presentation. And we are totally open for any further discussion. Thank you.
We thank Mr. John Xion for his valuable speech. And now we are pleased to invite Mr. Yusuf Al-Ali, founder and CEO of Yggdrasil, to share with us his success story, which is about Grab Your Future.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Marahab. So good afternoon, everyone. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Yusuf Al-Ali, founder and CEO of Yggdrasil, a startup that aims to revolutionize storytelling. So prior to starting up this venture, I was an auditor within Deloitte & Touche, one of the big four, as an auditor. So as an auditor, it's a big transition from an auditor into a startup, especially a startup that the core business of the startup is writing and storytelling. So hopefully by today's talk, we will see the nuances of how this big transition was made and how did I reach, for example, the decision into really starting up this venture. So it is an honor to be here with everyone here, to be part of this forum and going back to, people I used to see every day, Abir and Mahmoud and Mr. Rashid, and this marks definitely the end of a significant milestone in all your lives as graduates. So it's a symbol of years of hard work. So please enjoy this moment. You deserve the celebration. Congratulations. So on today's session, I will carry it out to address three main segments that I personally apply day in and day out into my operation, personal life, even throughout my career. So we'll talk about first the growth mindset, individuality, and lastly, your calling, your purpose, your vocation. So these will act as tools that will propel your growth, through perseverance, aspirations. All of these things will make you closer to the life you want to lead. Consider this a genuine talk from me to you as my younger siblings. So this graduation, the completion of this milestone is not an end, but a new beginning of a phase where limitless opportunities will be for you to grab. And as you embark on this journey, you will be required to be able to navigate how will the career or how will your life be unfolded in the upcoming years. So always when I elaborate about growth mindset and perseverance and your personal development, curiosity is the first thing that comes into my mind, because curiosity is the driving force of knowledge, questions, the questioning mind, and you following that intuition inside of yourself. And you are required to act upon your curiosities, because we all have this burning feeling within us when we talk about something or when we feel passionate about something. That's the thing that we need to act upon. So to elaborate on my own experience, for example, even during my time as a student, I did not settle, for example, for the academic curriculum that was given. But you need to go in and do internships, training, volunteering, and get interactions of how real life and get a taste of what really you want to be part of. And how, no matter how much, for example, rejections you will be getting in terms of internships opportunities or job opportunities, you will be rejected. I have been rejected dozens of times, from numerous companies here, everywhere. Opportunities to work, for example, with Mubadala, Adia, you will get rejected. But never give up. You need to persevere. You need to persevere, you need to give in. For example, I would give the example of myself, for example, applying to all big four. And I was not aiming at the highest one of them, which was Deloitte. But with constant, applying and getting rejected and going through this process, you never know. God closes one door and opens thousands more. So you always need to have that perseverance, that relentlessness that takes you from that level of getting rejected over and over. You just have to be right one time, and all of opportunities will open itself for you. You will prevail at the end. So growth mindset always means the pursuit of passions, because it's the thing that drives us. Through passion, you will learn so much. Because let's give the example, for example, of a boring lecture, and you are not passionate about the thing that, for example, the lecture is about. So you will not really, for example, get the preferred outcome out of it. But for example, let's give the example of something you might love. You will be up in the morning. I could give the example, for example, when we were children. When there's a field trip, going to, for example, a certain factory. As children, we wake up fired up, So that's the sense that you need to put in. That. Yes, Alia? Okay. So that's the sense that you need to cultivate inside of yourself, is finding that thing that will propel you into really learning and keep you on that constant cycle of learning, improving, and really drives you to enter things that you would never think of yourself that you thought that you didn't like, but you will love it. Auditor into writing spectrum. So this leads me into my second topic, individuality. Individuality is always an imperative thing that I personally always advocate for. So I will start this segment with a question, and there is no correct answer. Is everyone creative? Is every one of you creative here in our talk? We have almost more than 100 participants. If you could use maybe even the chat box, and maybe if you could answer. Yes, Sultan, tell us, what do you think? Is everyone creative?
I would say that everyone has a degree of creativity. I think everyone has a degree of creativity that they can tap into to, everyone has, like I said, a degree, and they can build upon that creativity, and they can put it into their individualistic trait. That's what I think.
Yeah, exactly. That's very true, especially for me, because this topic is very subjective. There is scholars that advocates for everybody is creative, and they just need to dig deeper, and other people advocate that not everybody is creative. There are certain people are born with this trait. So for me, exactly as you said, creativity is another way of saying individuality. And the more that you dig deep, and the more that you identify yourself and find out and discover who is, for example, Sultan, who is Yusuf, who is John or Abir, exactly, and dig deep to the extent that you will find out yourself, you will learn, you will discover yourself. As I will like soul searching. So everybody is blessed with their own unique characteristics, with set of qualities and talents and gifts only unique to them. And, similar to stars in the universe, each one has its unique existence and brilliance. So that's what we need to cultivate and, celebrate. Not, for example, being similar to somebody, but really embracing one's personality, one's traits. And the things that make you unique is a competitive advantage, because the way, the life that you see, the experiences is very unique to you. The life experiences, the way that you have maneuvered during your university years and even before that is all unique to you. And that's a competitive advantage. And it's very true as a person, as it is for companies, brands. The more distinguished you are, the more people will associate with you, will resonate with you. And even me, for example, when starting up, when I approach, for example, accelerators and VCs, venture capitalists, they always ask me, what's your value proposition? What's different? Okay, you are doing the same thing. Why would they come to you? And that's very true for every person, you know? So that's how you wanna see yourself, create your own brand, carry yourself as a separate brand, and see what increases that brand, what expands that brand. That's the features that you need to concentrate on. It's not, oh, this for example, individual has succeeded, for example, in a different business or a different, spectrum that I need to follow, for example, the footsteps. No. So you need to create your own path and pave it. That's the way that you will live a fulfilled life. Yes, Sultan.
Yes, Yusuf, I have a question for you if you would like to take it.
Yes, please.
So you talk about creativity and individualism. How did you use one or the other to establish yourself in your field?
So yeah, definitely, you know, with me, transitioning, for example, graduating from accounting and then going into auditing and then switching it up into, you know, this new spectrum, storytelling and writing, was just, a personal striving into what really resonates with me, problems that I care about, that I want to celebrate, that I wanna see more of. You know, that's why I took it upon myself to make this shift. And I really encourage people to, you know, take a similar approach, especially graduates, because you guys have the world in front of you. You have the world in front of you. You have all the time, and to utilize, for example, at least 10 years of your life to discover, research, learn, do mistake, fail until you reach the level that for example, the life or the trajectory that you wanna hopefully fall in. It could, you know, that's why I say individuality. It's all about you. When you seek for advice, everything that you want to happen in your life is within you. From the day we are, we were children, we see these nuances inside of ourselves. We are leaning upon, we are leaning towards words. We are leaning towards, for example, certain cartoon characters or, certain subjects. Yes, Mahmoud.
Yusuf, quick question. It is interesting how you moved from one field that could be considered as opposite to the other field. So my question is, when you were following, you spoke about passion. When you were following your passion, is that something that you already knew from the beginning, or this is something that you discovered while you are in the process of acquiring experiences and being in different domains?
Noted. So yeah, the passion for example, storytelling specifically has been always with me since the day I was a child. I remember the days because we used to not have a TV until I was around the 6th grade. So I just had my imagination, and I did not have the chance to go out and play. I always stayed home for some reason. So I only had my imagination, and I know these characters from when I was a kid, and I used to imagine entire episodes. That's why, entire episodes in my mind, and I play it around and I play with myself and for example, with my brother. So imagination, hits home for me. And that's why when I, for example, identified, for example, this problem in the market, seeing from my experience as an auditor, auditing companies and investment practices, and seeing the opportunity that, and nobody's taking action against. So you see these nuances, you see these opportunities, you leverage all your experiences, because your life is basically, everything that happened in your past. And you need to utilize every memory, every moment that you've had into cultivating the future that you want to happen, that the future that you want to work towards. Not, it's basically, what do you want to feed? Do you want to feed something that is not the life that you want to lead, or do you want to feed your dream? So from the transition, I decided to feed my dream. And I'm 1000% investing into this dream to make it happen, in the pursuit of the life that I want to lead and the support that I want to give to the people that I will impact, inshallah. Yes, Sultan.
Yes, Yusuf. I also have a follow-up question. What about those that struggle with their individual self, or those who have reached, this certain stage that we have reached, and have yet to tap into their potential in regards to their individualism and creativity? What advice would you give them?
So, from the way I structured the segments, so first thing that for me personally, that have led me to, for example, individuality, is growth mindset. So you need to keep looking. You need to have that relentless type of mentality to really, set your mind into finding your passion. And you do that through reading, interacting with people, going to events, learning about, going everywhere, searching relentlessly, never giving up on the thing that you are passionate about. For example, for me, Igdarsel was not my first venture. I have failures before. For example, okay, I went into my career, and then I wanted to start a side hustle, a side business, and tried the e-commerce, and tried creating a media company and failing, and tried to create a YouTube channel that benefits, for example, certain creators, and failed at that. And then, for example, once you get into this, you try to taste as much things as possible, going into as much things as possible for you to find, that mission, that calling that you feel so passionately, and you feel that you can make an impact into, using all your experiences, using your education, using the experience that you have accumulated from your own unique perspective. So that's how I want to, structure my answer, is growth, learn, develop yourself, and when you reach, that point that you know what you want, your heart will tell you. So just to continue on, so always, embrace the unique expression, because our lives is a combination of all our existence or our talents. So you need to embrace the individuality and celebrate your uniqueness. So when I say this, I ask you, what are your dreams? What are your ambitions in this life? What do you want to, how much impact that you want to give to the world? Because everybody will get what they want from the world. You just need to take action. You just need to do it. Like the Nike logo, just do it. So nobody should, hide their true self. So once you embrace yourself, it is also essential for your personal happiness. So be true to yourself, celebrate your uniqueness, and nobody can give you advice on how to live. I'm not going to tell you, oh, the storytelling spectrum is going to be the most successful one, or AI or blockchain. No, the most successful, advice is you need to search it yourself. You need to identify it. You need to find your calling. So now we move on to, our last segment, which is your calling. So when I say, calling, it's not the action of actually calling someone, but the second meaning, which is defined as the strong urge towards a particular way of life or a career, a vocation. It's the reason that you wake up in the morning. It's the reason, and even Japanese has this proverb, what's the reason you wake up in the morning? So because your passions are not random. The things that infatuate you and excite you is not a random thing. It is a gift. It's a blessing that God gave us. And to identify them, you need to find some stillness and sit with yourself and listen to your heart, listen to your soul, and ask, what am I passionate about? Who do I want to fight for? Who do I want to be a hero towards? What books or topics can you not stop reading about, learning more about? So what moves you? What makes you sad? What steers your soul? What's, because it's not a random thing. It's within our DNA. So when you ask yourself these questions, you will find your calling, or at least an indication towards it. And callings, it's not something that you choose. It is something that is is gifted to you. You are blessed with this from the moment you were born. So you have to be alert. You have to be alert of their existence. You have to be look for them. You will not find them just sitting around and waiting, for example, for your certificate and everything will come to you, opportunities and everything you want. No, you need to grind. You need to go here, go there, and really go through this adversity in order for you to find that true thing that makes you, alive. So, and don't try to chase any kind of hot passion. I've touched on this. We see all these trendy topics. For example, we have NFTs, we have blockchain, AI, and all of these things. So don't chase the hot passion of the day, but create your own, because it is the thing that will create fulfillment into your life, the happiness that you wanna cultivate. It's not, money is good. Money is something, that puts food on the table, makes you improves quality of life. But to a certain level, it will not provide you that sense of happiness, a sense of purpose. So you have to find what you love. You need to work and go and fill this large part of your life, because it is the only way to truly be satisfied, to do and to believe that your work is great. Your work is something that will have an impact on yourself. And if you haven't found it yet, as young as you guys are, I'm sure maybe a couple of you probably have something in mind or already pursuing something. Keep looking, and don't settle until you find that thing that ignites your soul,
Yep.
And when you find it, you will just know. The moment you find your calling, you will immediately know how's the feeling.
Mr. Yusuf, you've given a really very nice, interesting story about yourself, and really, I'm totally agree with you. When you speak, or once you give this information just right now, I'm remembering exactly my life and how difficult is that I passed through until I get to where I'm right now. But you say something very interesting. People are learning from their failures more than from their success. This is the conclusion of what you said. And it took from me personally like 5 years to understand where I would like to be, or what do I need exactly. So really, I'm agree totally with you that if you did not work on yourself and try to motivate yourself, you won't be able to reach to where you would like, or you won't be able to reach to what you would like exactly. And that's why I'm telling my students in the class that every one of you have something in your mind, but the only thing it takes from you, you have to discover these things. How? This is the things that you have to work on it. And from your story, really, I encourage all the interns that every one of them have to look for themselves, for themselves exactly, to understand what do I need exactly. Probably, maybe you can feel it is a simple questions, but it will take, from me, it took like 5 years of my work experience to understand where I would like, or what do I like exactly. So really, I'm thanking you very much about these advices, and you put all my life in front of me from what you speak. Thank you so much, yeah, Mr. Yusuf. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
God bless you. God bless you, Luay.
Thank you.
That's totally. I thank you for your reaching out, and definitely that totally resonates with me. And as Luay mentioned, it's hard work. You cannot skip steps in this endeavor into finding your purpose in life, and into finding your calling. There you cannot skip steps. You need to put one feet in front of the other, whether you are in hellfire or whether you are in a good times. You need to put one foot in front of the other, hope for the best, and go towards the thing that that feels strong, that you feel strongly about. Because it's easy to have, for example, ideas. It's easy to have aspirations, but it's very hard to create that sense of success, because there is a lot of steps in between that you need to take. It takes persistence, relentlessness, as I said, and a lot of hard work.
Thank you, Yusuf, very much for the tips and the advices you gave to our students. We really appreciate this, and we are happy to see you so successful in your life. Inshallah, we'll see you more shining in the future.
Inshallah.
I guess our next speaker is Dr. Ahmed Swedi. Marahab.
Thank you, Mr. Yusuf Al-Ali, for sharing your inspiring experience. And now we are pleased to listen to another success story by Dr. Ahmed Swedi, who is a self-employed and one of UAEU alumni. His presentation title is Broaden Your Knowledge, Narrow Your Focus.
Thank you, Marahab. And just before I start, I'd like to thank John, Yusuf, who will be using a lot of what you just said in my segment, and to welcome Lamis just after me. And I'd like to thank Sumaya as well, and Abia for making this happen, and Dr. Rashid, of course. So just a disclaimer before I start, I'm not here to give advices. There is no right or wrong. I'm not in a place to give advices. I'm just here to provoke the way you think, and to give you a safe space to ask questions from people who've been here before you and tried this before. And I'm really grateful for UAEU for planning this. I wish when I was in your place, I listened to such panels, because this will have saved me a lot of effort, time, and pain. But no pain, no gain. We're here to learn. So when it comes to graduating, going to experiencing real life, it's about becoming a student of life for life. So just expect whatever is going to happen is happening for you, not to you. Stop victimizing yourself, and do not overthink about what will go wrong, and think about it in a way that what's going to make you better, what makes you more resilient and more open to differences. So basically today I'll be talking about how to broaden your knowledge and narrow your focus, because I think, just talking to you virtually here is just a fact that the life has changed. There's a new normal. So you can't plan your life based on what used to be successful and what used to be right. And I have a little short presentation, which I'd like to share with you. And yeah, you can ask me whatever you want. You can just write it down in the chat box. Okay. I'm not really sure if this is working. Is it?
Yes, Ahmed, we can see your screen.
Okay, great. So these are the key points that I'm going to discuss. Basically, what is success? What is success made of? What other options we have in life? And most importantly, something that I wish someone told me about when I was your age is the work-life balance. So we tend to focus on an aspect of our life rather than just having a full comprehensive view of our lives. So just to define success, I know that because of the media and because of what we tell each other, we expect this question in interviews: where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, 10 years, or whatever? I want to ask you, where were you 10 years ago? And I want you to just reflect, what have you learned? And can you see the exponential growth that you've experienced in the last 10 years? Well, good news, the coming next 10 years is the same. So just look back to what happened and try to forecast what's going to happen. But again, you have to focus on yourself. So it's not about me becoming like Yusuf or John becoming like me, or I become like you. No, it doesn't work this way. It's about you. So where did you start? Where are you now? And where are you heading? And to know that, please reflect on the past. Just look at yourself. So 10 years ago, I'm sure you didn't have the decision-making skills that you have right now. You can think in abstract the way you're thinking right now. These soft skills that you might not see that as important or as essential in your everyday life. But the problem solving, the way you socialize with people, the way you're making new friends, the way you are talking, the way you're negotiating, just look at it at the past. And these same skills will be working on developing and also developing enhancing skills to these existing skills which you already have. So when we talk about success, success is not defined as being successful doesn't mean being happy. This is something that we will come to. But being successful doesn't mean being rich, doesn't mean being famous, doesn't mean being having a senior post. No, it's about your sense of fulfillment of your own self. It's not being within a group. It's not like being as good as your cousins, as your friends, or like someone that you watch on TV. No. Why I'm saying this? So before during my early years in my career, I was selected to represent Abu Dhabi in the Youth Council. And then I was in Abu Dhabi Youth Council and then the federal level. So I was among the brightest youth of the country. And I've learned the lesson that we're different. We're not the same. There were engineers, there were doctors, and there were people like me who are specialized in humanities. And I am a diplomat by education. So it's not about being like anyone else. It's about being yourself and giving the best out of it, making the best out of it. So look inward and try to understand what is it that makes you feel fulfilled, makes you feel content. So don't be fooled with money, fame, or the shallow meaning of success. For success to endure, for success to be sustained, it's about you fulfilling your own self-actualization, if you're aware of the Maslow hierarchy of needs. And again, I reiterate that life is the best teacher because simply now you're a student of life. And again, whatever is going to happen, it's happening for you. It's happening for you to learn. It's not to you. If you had the difficult boss, if you had colleagues who are not really friendly, good, you're learning. You're learning how to be resilient. You're learning how to be mature, actually. And just look at it in this way, that this is happening for you. You're learning. And then I just want to give another example of, to talk about another important pillar to me. So I've started my career working in the government and then in an oil company. And then I was working at the same time. I was seconded for different entities. Back in the days, we thought that, for me being an Emirati from Abu Dhabi, success is working in the government or working in an entity. This entity could be a private sector as well, but it should have this look and feel of what's normal back then. But now things have changed, life has changed, and there are, variety of options. And here is just very few options that I've picked. don't wait for things to happen to you. Go get it done. Go do it. So in case you are local, living in UAE, Abu Dhabi specifically, the Department of Economic Development have offered Taj Abu Dhabi commercial license, which offers more than 100, they call it, I think, activity or nashat in Arabic. So this doesn't require you to have an actual location. So you can do it from home, or you can just have a website or an Instagram account for that. In addition to that, me, while I was working and when I was a student as well, you know, being a PhD student would require some help externally, like editing, or when I say editing, I mean like, you know, the ethical part of editing. They didn't do my work for me, but you know, they will just edit the thesis. They make sure that the English is correct, and etc. So I had to go and hire freelancers, and where I got them from people per hour or Fiverr, Upwork. So go and check these websites, see the services, and see what you can do. Don't wait to have a job. Do it on the side. Just do it. Go and learn. And if you think that when you graduate and start working, you'll be working using your career, your credentials, or the what you call it, the what you have learned. For example, if you think you've studied marketing, and when you go work, you wouldn't do something that has nothing to do with marketing. No, you'll be doing everything, especially when you're a junior. You'll be like the lowest in the food chain, and everything is expected from you. So you have to learn everything and anything, especially like the first 3-4 years. Just learn everything and anything. So these opportunities could open the broaden your competencies, I would say, and make you know how things are done, and you'll be using your free time, and this could be added to your CV as well. So just don't wait for opportunities to come. Create your own opportunities. Create your own future. Just don't wait for things to happen. Finally, I'll be using a quote from The Godfather. I know some of the audience here are not men. We have ladies as well, but they said in this movie, a man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man. So it's not about being real man, real woman. It's about what are your priorities. So just don't burn yourself at work, and just don't overindulge yourself with free time and family time. Just make sure from now to plan your life in a way that everything falls into place. Nothing extra of anything. So just make sure that there is time for family. Family is very important. Yes, it is. Work is important, but family is important as well. Your friends are important, your social life, health. Make sure everything falls into place. Don't be overdriven for work. You are replaceable if you are working in any given entity, but you're not replaceable if you are among a family. So always think of that, keep it on top of your head, that family is important, work is important, health is important. So it's easier to say it in Arabic, المهم فالأهم فالأقل أهمية. So everything is important, but the most important and less important, but they're all important. So just make sure when you plan for your life, and when you'll start getting offers, or when you start having your own business, which takes much more time than you can think or expect, but keep what's important there. Make sure that you're spending right time with the right people and the right places. And with that being said, I think I am done, and I'll wait for your questions in case there are. In case there are not, it's okay.
If you have any questions, raise up your hand, or you can type in the chat box.
Yes,
Yes.
Sultan has a question.
Yes, Sultan.
Go ahead, Sultan.
Yes, it's not a question. It's more of my thoughts, especially during the success slide. I would say that I define success as, doing something, achieving something, no matter how small it is, and learning from it, and acknowledging that it is done and you've finished it and you are ready to move on to the other thing. That's just my 2 cents on the matter.
Excellent.
Okay, Dr. Ahmed, I've got just small question. Do you consider
Sure.
the how you manage your life as a skill? I mean, you said that everything should be putting in the right place. So this is, you consider it as a skills people have to acquire it, or something that easily to be acquired?
I think we're naturally accustomed to have to think in a way where we can put things into place, but due to many factors, we might get carried away. I think what happened during the pandemic made us look inward and reflect, and just go back to basics and go back to normal. But I think if you just listen to yourself, you know when you're tired and you need a break, and you know when you miss your family and you need to see them. But we tend to just not hear our inner voice. So I don't think it's a skill, it's more of an innate feeling in humans. They just need to listen.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a question here where 10 years ago instead of where you see yourself in. Was very, thank you for that. Thank you, Mira, thank you. And yes, we are here to make you feel, we want you to feel good about yourselves. So one of the main things that when you go and pursue, for example, interviews, or you go to plan, brainstorm your own business, just don't look down to yourself. No, don't look down to yourself. What got you here was big, and the way forward is even better. And just don't listen to mass media. Listen to me.
Yes, Dr. Ahmed, thank you very much for your speech. I think it add up to what Mr. Yusuf said. I feel that the 2 speeches are connected somehow. The question that I have, Dr. Ahmed, is about, with the presence of all the distraction that we have in our lives nowadays, how one can actually start to focus and create that life-work balance, because it's not only life and work, but also you have all of the distractors that's out there, such as different media, etc. I wonder what's your take in this area.
I will illustrate it for you. So we have 2 factors: importance and urgency. Okay, and I'll try to show you. So this is like importance and urgency, and you just plug here whatever aspects in your life, whatever tasks you have, and this is like a very practical way of you knowing how to prioritize. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. But it's there are many practical ways of doing it. But just ask yourself how urgent it is, how important it is, and things will be, and just be realistic. Be realistic. And this is like one of the things that I would like to also mention. I had very difficult bosses, which I'm very grateful for. I'm very lucky to have very difficult bosses back when I was working, like the different type of work, because they teach you how to become more resilient, how to become more efficient. And one thing that I used to be very sensitive. I used to be very, and things were very emotional. And I'm just telling you, like 10 years from now, it's going to be much, much better. And you'll build this resilience. And I would like, yeah, sorry?
Yeah, thank you very much for that.
Yeah,
I think it's eye-opening.
So in case anyone has any questions before we leave.
Yeah, Dr. Ahmed, I wanted to thank you for mentioning one point, which is that everyone is replaceable. So when they get a job now, after graduating, they will be taken in their jobs, new jobs, and they will dedicate maybe so many long hours of their life for their jobs. But they have really to know that companies, the way companies think is that anyone is replaceable. So your job might be part of your life, but it's not your whole life.
Yes.
So thank you for bringing this point in this session.
Yeah, thank you. Because I wish someone told me this when I was younger, because back in the days was like, give it your best, work hard. It's not about, no, it's not about that. It's about, just they say, don't lose your life making a living. It's like balancing both. So make a living and have a life.
Exactly.
I wanna just continue on what Amjad is talking about. Is it's not really about the work-life balance, but it's about harmony. It's about harmony, and how do you want some people would work, for example, 14 hours a day, and they are very much comfortable with that, and some people are settling into, for example, 8 hour, and that's too much for them. So find that sweet spot for you, find that harmony, and act upon it. Thank you.
I have a question from Miriam. She said, why did you pursue PhD? I just wanted to teach. Yeah, simple as this.
This is your passion.
One of my things that makes me driven and passionate is teaching. I like to pass knowledge.
We thank Dr. Ahmed Al-Suwaidi for his addition to the forum, and would like to invite Mrs. Lamis Abul Khair, Product Manager at Noon E-Commerce, to deliver her topic on the power of resilience.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I'm very happy and it's my pleasure to be here. I want to thank a lot Mr. Mahmoud for inviting me to this special event. It's a pleasure to be among successful entrepreneurs and also doctors and amazing alumni. Thank you for the previous speakers, and thank you for Ms. Sumaya for calling me 9 a.m. telling me that I got my security clearance. So my name is Lamis Abul Khair. Let me give you a little bit of introduction about who I am, and then I'm gonna dive deep into the power of resilience. And I want to thank as well the speaker before me. You mentioned resilience at the end, so that was kind of like, jumping into the next topic, and that was a good start. So I'm Lamis Abul Khair. I'm Palestinian. I was born and raised in Pakistan. I moved to the UAE when I was 13 years old. And today I am product manager working in Noon E-Commerce. It's one of the leading, it is the leading e-commerce company in the UAE and in the MENA region. Currently, I'm the product manager and leading the brand store. And what brand store does, it's a unique concept that works as a real estate for brands to showcase their products on the platform. So I also earned my master's degree in management of systems and leadership and strategy from New York University in May 2020. Prior to that, I was also selected as His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Scholar in year 2017, 2018. And that goes back to also the great opportunities that the UAE University has offered to us. And the biggest opportunity that I got to have is being selected as His Highness Mohammed bin Zayed Scholar, which have opened tremendous opportunities for me. Now, let me tell you a little bit about why I'm here today. But before I jump into this, I want to thank again the people who invited me. But the number one reason I'm here today is because I want to give back to the UAE University because of the lot of opportunities that I was given, and it was a choice. I guess the number one thing that I want to share with you is that everything in life is a choice. No matter what you are or where you are in life, you can decide to make the most out of it. And just as you are going now into your internship, you can decide to make the most out of your internship or learn a few things and leave. which I would tell you a lot of people do, unfortunately. But the job market works something like supply and demand. So there is supply, which is a lot of us as students, they're graduating, we have a lot of ambition, we have a lot of things to share with the world. However, on the other case, sorry, I think this is from my side. Just give me a second. Okay, just give me a second, you guys. All right. Okay, so that was work, because work comes first, unfortunately. We do have a very big technical change actually happening today, and I have to be there, honestly. It was a very big risk for me to be here, just because I had to leave my team of engineers by themselves. So I think they'll have to suffer a little bit while I'm here. But yeah, so I'm going to go back to this. So how does the job market work? It works like supply and demand. We have a lot of ambitious students. We're going there. We have a lot of skills. We want to add value to the companies. However, unfortunately, I'm very sorry about this, guys. Okay, things are breaking a little bit, but this is how the technical life work. I'm sorry, you guys. I think I'm just gonna stop right here. Okay, taking a step back. So everything in life comes as a choice, as I've shared with you. Now I'm gonna go back and tell you some of the things, all right, some of the things that I follow personally, and I think they do help me almost 80 to 90% of the time, and I will be sharing it with you, okay? So let's just, I'm sorry for all of this disruption that's happening around here. Okay. Okay, amazing. Okay, sorry, you guys. So the number one thing that I want to share with you is investing in your education. Learning never stops after university. In fact, it even gets better and even more fun. And you know why? It's because in university, you don't get to choose courses that you have to take. However, after you finish university, what happens is that you start selecting the things that you're interested in, and you start taking more courses, you start working on different certifications, you hire maybe a coach to teach you something that you're interested in. And the second thing is failure. And maybe I don't like the word failure as much, but this is how people understand it. It is your biggest teacher in life. Some things you're going to get it right, and some things you're going to get it wrong. But honestly, what failure does to you is that it eliminates the things that you don't even like. So you start focusing on the things that you're interested in. You for example, you open a shop, and let's say that shop doesn't work. And so you realize, oh, I didn't actually like that shop a lot. Maybe I should actually do something different. And you start experiencing different things. And when you experience different things, you start to realize what you're actually interested in. And the number two thing, or the number two key or rule that I want to share with you is consistency. Everything you have to do with a little bit of consistency. What I mean by that is when you put a goal, okay, follow it. And how do you follow it? Like, I want to say consistency is like, you're not going to wake up every single day with a lot of energy, with a lot of motivation to do the things that you want to do. However, if you write a goal and be like, hey, I want to improve my skill in this month, and put it on your, like, on the top of your bed, on the top of your desk, and be like, I'm going to actually achieve this by the end of this month. Even if you don't achieve it, you're going to be like 90% there. You might not be there fully, but you'll be 90% there. And one of the things that actually got me into consistency is when I got my first internship in UAE University, and it was in a bank, and I was studying management systems, and I also had a minor of finance. I was like, hey, the best opportunity for me to combine both is go to a bank. But I was very lucky, actually, that I got selected into that bank, and then I started in HR. The girl who was managing her position. She was on leave for marriage leave, and the marriage leave was like almost a month. And then I had to take her place. And during that time, I was like, but I'm not going to the technology department. How am I going to implement the skills that I've learned in university? And this is where resilience played its place. I could have cried, which I did. Okay, like I cried for some days. And then I was like, okay, I have to take control of my life. Like I can't just leave it here and not make the most out of it. So what I did was like, I built a lot of connections and relationships around the people. And one of the things I did was like, how can I automate some of the processes that are on HR? And I started doing this, and I started creating different initiatives on how I can improve the wellness of employees, which was actually part of my previous interest and club that I started in UAE University, which was New Dimension. It was a health club that held hundreds and hundreds of students, and I led two amazing exhibitions, which was the health, nutrition, and fitness. I don't know actually if you guys still do it every year, but it was one of the best, and it would host like 30 to 50 companies, and they would speak about the different initiatives and the different products that they have for that. So for me, doing all of this, I was like, I can definitely bring this value to my workplace. And that's the impact that I had on the people around me. And you know what that did? That made me believe in myself more. And believing in yourself gives you more confidence. And that's what you take. You take a little bit of experience from here, you take a little bit of experience from here, and you merge them together, and you add your own impact. You add your own fingerprint. So this puts me back to perspective, which is the third rule I have to share with you today, is knowing your value. How do I know my value? Let me take a piece of paper, write down your strengths and your weaknesses. You are, if you haven't been interviewed yet, you will face this question a lot. What is your weakness? Tell me about your weaknesses. And if you do not know the answer to it, unfortunately, it's going to be, I don't know, like if you don't know the problem, if you don't know the answer to it, I think it's going to be a problem. And the reason why I say it's going to be a problem, because you need to assess yourself. You need to know what you're good at and what you're not good at. Of course, I'm not going to tell you like, go and share your weaknesses with the person who is going to hire you. But at least, for example, say, I actually know, for example, how to work on Excel, on Word, but I actually don't know a lot about this specific thing in Excel, but I'm actually learning or taking a course to improve myself. And that by itself puts you in a position where it's like, okay, this person or this intern knows a lot about herself. Let me give her a chance so that she can learn it in our place. And that was actually one of the and now I'm going to actually share with you one of the interesting stories that happened to me in my second internship when I was doing a master's in New York. When I was doing a master's in New York, I picked a startup. It was very hard to find an internship there. Again, the problem of supply and demand. So I found an internship. It was good. You know, I just needed anything so I can start. But unfortunately, no matter how well, I did my things. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about my my work there. So I was also like an associate product manager in that company or in that startup, and it was like an entertainment startup that is like, it's like an Instagram application, but it's more for travel insiders and enthusiasts. So during that time, when I was, working with my manager, I did not receive feedback. And I was always, doing my best, and it was, my actions or the work that I've done, it would be taken and it would be implemented. Then that means that it is good, right? But then I still did not hear like, am I doing well? Am I not doing well? So in the mid semester, every manager needs to send an assessment to my university, and my supervisor gets to actually look at it. And when she looked at it, she was actually a little confused because she gave it to me, and as I read it, I failed. Yes, I failed, and that was the biggest shock to me, because I didn't know like what to do at that time. I thought that I was doing well, and even if I didn't know that I was doing well, I was not hearing it from my manager. And then I went and I spoke to my supervisor. However, I did not give up. Like maybe I was a little bit disappointed, but I knew that I do have a value, and the things that I have done for the startup, they are actually using it. Then I do have benefits that I can share with them. And so we had actually a celebration, and I was invited to the UAE National Day by His Highness the Consulate of the UAE in New York. And I wrote her. I was like, hey, you know, this is a great opportunity. I would love you to come. And I had her as a guest. And she got to share with a lot of the guests about how much she's very happy working with me. And that's when I realized that she's actually happy working with me. She just maybe doesn't want me to like pass or something. But that didn't put me in a place where I, you know, I give up. And after that, I actually passed the course with an A, which is because, you know, it was more of like, that wasn't kind of like a professional assessment. And that's when things kind of like came back to my favor. I don't know how much time do I have, but I'm going to take another 5 minutes and then we can start maybe Q&A. But I want to share a few things, and I think this is why I'm here today, about my entrepreneurial path and how did it lead me to become a product manager at Noon. So before that, I did actually set like kind of like a time after my graduation from university. Things were very shaky. I graduated in May 2020. I didn't have a lot of opportunities. And the reason why this is because COVID, and the COVID situation really hit New York so bad and the economy. And I was in a place where I was developing my own startup, which is Food Swap. And Food Swap is a personal nutritionist app. I had a team of great engineers. We were working all together, and you know, we were ready to actually go for rounds of investments. But I really had to like stop at that time because I wasn't getting anywhere, and you know, nobody's responding, and everyone is, you know, being like very cautious with investing in startups as well. So I was like, okay, this startup is not going to work. I had a great team of engineers. They were 4, but I also had to let go. And this is part of resilience. Part of resilience is knowing when things work out and when things don't, and being ready for the next step. Always have a second plan. Like have a plan, like, okay, maybe not having a second, even if you don't have a second plan, but know if this does not work out, what are you going to do? Are you going to stop? And how long are you going to stop? And what is your next step? What are you going to take? What are you learning from this experience? And what are you taking from this experience that can help you to the next one? And I didn't see the value of me like quitting this, but I gave myself 6 months. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to work for any company until I figure out what I want to do in life. And so I did. I took some time off. And during that time off, after my university, I started assessing a lot myself. What am I good at? What am I not good at? And then I got a certification in coaching, which was something that I will be doing for the rest of my life. I feel myself adding a lot of impact and a lot of value to people's lives by helping them find their own potential. And so the best way to do this is learning about the skills and learning about how can I deal with people, how can I get the best out of them through coaching. So now I'm actually a certified coach, life coach and business coach. And I've been able to help few startups and individuals finding their own way through entrepreneurship. And during that time, I realized that I had this breaking moment this time last year. In January last year, I was like, you know, I've had enough, you know, 6 months is enough. Now what am I going to do? I want to find a job. I do have the knowledge. I do have the experience. I know that I can add a lot to whatever opportunity that I'm given in. Let me find something that actually works for me. But that mindset had an issue in it, which is, you know, I want a job, you know? So I had to work with a career coach in order for me to change that mindset. And that mindset was like, what impact am I looking to drive to this company? And once you think about this way, more opportunities start to open for you. You know why? Because things start to match. You start to think, how can I make the job description, you know, matching these things? How can I look for, you know, job opportunities that really meet my criteria? How can I, you know, connect with the people in this company so that they can actually help me? So you start thinking of different ways that can help you to do the things that you want to achieve or the goals that you want to achieve. And this is how I got to be in Noon, which is what I think now is my second home and where I feel like I belong. Maybe it's not normal for someone to say that a company feels like a home to me, but it does because I work with a team of professional people and they're all very kind and we all take care of each other. And this is how leadership works. Leadership works when a group of people, they come together to serve a bigger purpose. And I also want to come back to using Yusuf's word, which is find your passion, find what you're interested in. It's very important because when you do what you love, people will see that you love what you're doing and they will actually help you grow better. And one of the things that actually was mind blowing to me that my manager selected me for leading the project that I'm working on right now because he watched my YouTube channel and he knew that I was an entrepreneur and he was like, there's no best person who would know how to deal with the sellers but you, Lamis. I want you to be in this position. And this is a little bit about me. I hope this was a little bit insightful and not too long, but I'm very happy to listen to your questions.
Thank you very much for your speech, Lamis. I'm really happy to hear that from you because it has been a while since you graduated from the UAE University. And I kind of I was following your story through the post that you made on LinkedIn. It made us actually proud. So one of the things that you mentioned is about staying true to your values. I think this is a very important point. And making a decision based on values might be sometimes difficult. How do you cope with with the struggle that comes with that when you make a decision based on your values? For example, you decided to stay with the startup for 6 months, even though the prospect wasn't that good.
So, I mean, I did actually quit this. And so I took 6 months off after this. After I closed everything with my team and everything, I did kind of close it. But coming back to the importance of values, I think we all need to know what our values are and know what is our why. I actually did some kind of a test or something through Simon Sinek to find my why. And my why basically was to find potential in people and help them to grow their potential. I'm always expanding myself. There's nothing like, oh, I've reached my limit. No, this is like a limiting mindset. You can't be, my mindset before working in Noon was very limited. I was like, no, there is no way for me to enter a company or corporate. I'm just against it. Like, I feel like I'm an entrepreneur. I do well. I do these things. I do what I'm passionate about. But when I looked my purpose in growing people, I was growing sellers in my company, and that's how things clicked. So yes, it's very important to connect with your values, know what you are and who you are, and that's how you can approach things differently, and how you can bring more impact to the people who are around you. And when you actually ask the people around you or your team to do the things that they love, they will bring the best out of them.
Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you so much.
I guess many students agree with me because I can see the comments. Many are inspired by your story.
Thank you so much.
That's good.
I'm trying to see where do I see the questions. I don't know if you guys have any questions, but here, you guys can open your speakers, right? And they can, yeah. So if anyone wants to ask a questions, I'm very happy to hear you guys.
Yes, Sultan, go ahead.
Yes, I have a question for the speaker.
Sultan.
Yes. So my question is, from your perspective and your experience, what are some things that you learned when dealing with conflicts or other problems that occurred while being a leader of your team, or working with a team?
That's a very interesting question, and it does come a lot. And I think the example that I want to bring is what is, yeah. So like when you think of the other person, what is their intention? And sometimes we try to think, oh, this team is maybe trying to put me in an uncomfortable situation. And when you are in a company, you start to think, oh, this person doesn't want me to succeed, or, these things. But when you're working with your team, you have to have a little bit of empathy. Sometimes a lot of things can go wrong, and how to deal with conflict is understanding that they come from a place of they're trying their best. And when you know that someone is trying their best, even if they make a mistake, you're gonna let it go. Like yesterday, I actually made a mistake, and I did go directly to the person, or my team, and I was like, hey, I did this mistake. I'm actually, I'm not proud of this. I'm very annoyed that this happened, but I'd made this mistake. So being transparent and being open, and also think of the best intention that the other person is giving you, will put you in a comfortable situation, and you will internally feel good about what you're doing. Or else you're going to feel like a lot of toxicity around you and negativity, and it will get into your head, and you will start thinking like, oh, this person doesn't like me, this person doesn't like me, this person doesn't like me. And then you start somehow, getting into arguments with the other person when there was nothing actually to be worried about. I don't know if this answered your question.
Yes, it answered my question. But what I meant also, in regards to the conflicts, I also wanted your your solution on to how do you not formulate these imaginary, like you said, you would start it would start getting into your head. How would you resolve that? How would you how would you resolve that?
That is a good question. Honestly, it's inner work. I have to work with myself. I have to meditate. Honestly, I'm a very big person when it comes to meditation. And meditation doesn't have to be like this 30 minutes or 1 hour or whatever this thing is, or not doing anything or not listening to anything. It can simply be taking 5 minutes to breathe, and that breath is going to help you calm down. And then you can start thinking, oh, that's just like, okay, whatever, like just let it go. This is one thing that I have to do internally. Maybe the other thing that I think can be very helpful is asking questions to the team itself, like, why did you do this? What made you make that decision? How can I help you better? So, being very transparent. Don't be like, oh, why did you did this? Be the more empathetic way. Like, okay, why did you do this? Like, let me know. How can I help you? And this is how you're going to actually receive more feedback, and you're going to build, hopefully, a better relationship.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sultan, for the question.
I'd like to thank all the speakers. I know we're about to conclude the presentations. Very happy, with whatever we heard today, for sharing all your experience. I really enjoyed someone unmuted yet. That's I guess that's the technology, huh? All right. So I'd like to thank all the speakers. What we learned today from all the four speakers, we learn about the competencies and the qualifications employer is seeking for. For example, for Mr. Jungyu, he covered some of the qualifications and experience or skills they are looking for intern, and we saw how it's basically competitive for his company to find a job in his company, or at least to take an internship, because as you notice in his presentation, he says we're only going to select 1 or 2 candidates. and not any candidate, they need to satisfy these certain competencies and qualifications. So thank you again, Mr. Jingu, for us, at least to keep us aware of what's happening in the market. I know the market is very challenging. For the other speakers, I'm glad that you mentioned what you have gone through. It wasn't easy, the challenges that you went through to be successful. You said how many rejection you got, huh? You applied to many different internship, job. You didn't take no as an answer. You were disappointed with the evaluation you received, not happy. Since you moved to the market looking for a job, it wasn't easy path. I'd like to ask you, maybe for our students, now they're going to graduate soon. And you mentioned because of the market change, challenges, and to be able to equip ourselves today with the necessary skills that will need tomorrow. I like one of the speakers mentioned, Dr. Ahmed, mentioned that, oh, tell me what you have done in the past 10 years. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in the future. So whatever you've done in the past, if we stay the same, we keep the same habit, it will determine we're going to end up after 5-10 years from now, unless we change our habit. We noticed all the speakers had very distinguished start. They were very distinguished students, alumni when they were in. They didn't wait till they graduate. They say, you don't need to be great to start, just start and you're going to be great, inshallah. So my question again, soon they're going to graduate. Most of them, they don't have the experience in the industry. We'll start applying here and there. What's your short advice for them to increase their chance to be hired? And again, not to be disappointed, as Ms. Lamis mentioned, maybe sometimes we have our expectations so high then we get disappointed. So for them not to be disappointed and at the same time to be equipped and have a better chance to land in a job. Any of the speakers, feel free to address this.
From my end, I would say, as I said, be true to yourself and everything will, sort itself. Everything you want in life or in your career, it will be a domino effect. Everything will fall into place. Just be true to yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Yusuf.
I'm going to add to this. I think back to one of my keys, which is know your worth. And how you can know your worth is by building up that skill set that will help you. And even if you don't get a job, for me, even if I didn't get a job, I found anything. I found something that I'm interested in. Before I got into Noon, I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to start a fashion brand. I don't know, I don't know what I can do, but I have some skills that can help me create that. Just don't sit waiting for an opportunity to knock by your door, because it will not. You need to make that effort. You need to, even if I created that fashion brand, I might have been hired by maybe like a fashion brand company that's like, oh, actually, maybe we can just hire you. So do something that you're passionate about, do it very, very well, and keep on knocking doors, because that's how people will recognize you.
Thank you, Ms. Lamis. Dr. Suwaidi.
Yes, sir. So basically, I have nothing to add more than what just Lamis and Yusuf said. I just want to say it again, that redefine what success is. So, for example, if you're looking for a job, just before applying for a job, make sure that you are the person for this job. Read the job description, read what's just don't set yourself for failure. Just read properly, see if it suits you, if it's good for you. If not, if you're thinking of having your own thing, just ask us, ask your family. It's okay to ask. It's okay to learn more. Take your time. There's no rush. So just plan ahead of time. this will save you the hardship of getting rejected. I would say it this way.
Thank you, Dr. Swedi. And I like what you mentioned earlier. You said, no pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain.
Yeah, and I'd like to make sure that we have the much less pain for our students, I guess, by asking expertise and learn from their experience, and that will at least reduce maybe failures. Failure is going to, of course, a big teacher, so you're going to learn a lot from your failure. Last but not least, Mr. Jung Kyun. I'm sorry.
I think you all have put it very perfectly. I really have nothing to add on, but I think from my own perspective, from my own experience, that I would like to share that as a fresh graduate from the university, you guys really have nothing to lose. You just be relentless. Yeah, be brave. When you see an opportunity, just try to grasp it. And the worst scenario is that you don't get it, and that's all. You have nothing to lose. So just be relentless and do your best. That's my word. That's my word of wisdom.
Thank you. Thank you. Definitely. Thank you. I would like to thank you again for being so generous, for attending today's sessions, for not only sharing your experience, but staying till 2:30. I know you have commitment. You have other responsibilities. You were so generous to share your experience with our students and with our participants. I would like to see you, inshallah, again in the future in other events. And I'd like to thank everyone who actually organized this event and made it successful. We'd like to wish you all the best, and thank you again for all our participants.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.